Hello. Uh, it's right. So, I I haven't used YouTube likes to change things unnecessarily, don't they? I mean, there's this whole new overlay, and I started the thing, I started the stream on OBS, and then I find out that it's like, oh, it's live on OBS, but it doesn't mean that it's live on YouTube yet. You gotta hit a second button to do that. Who needs to hit one button to make things work when you can hit two buttons to make things work? We're YouTube, making everything worse for no reason. I mean, like, in between all of the stuff to do with the verification, which I love. Hey, upon, second inspection, we realize you're not who you say you are. Sorry. How does that happen? OBS sometimes messes up. No, it wasn't. No, it's the fact that I have to hit two buttons now. This is how infrequently I'm here. But I'm here right now. Hi. How do you like the new overlay? I spent all day working on it. And yet, people probably wouldn't believe me if I said that. Damn it. And I thought this through, but I actually don't have, anything to put on the screen right now. So I just got this. Fuck. Alright. I need to find a solution to this problem. But hello there, everybody. How are you? How are you doing? I want to talk about some things. But before we get started, I'll let people filter in, and if you have any questions about the gaming industry or any other things, feel free to ask. You know how it works here. Or maybe you don't because you've been subscribed and you haven't seen any of the streams because I don't upload anything. Feel free to get the ball rolling. But the main thing is there will be more streams soon. But I need to talk about the plan for that and where they're going to be. Because I'm not sure if they're going to be on YouTube or if I'm going to use Restream to do concurrent to YouTube and Twitch. This will all make sense, especially if you don't follow me on Twitter, in which case you're probably completely out of the loop. This is what I mean. I tend to forget. I tend to forget about the fact that even though I have been around and I have been doing things, there's probably a good chance that a decent number of people here on this channel don't know that because I haven't really talked about it on here, like EFAP or any of the other stuff I've been doing. But we'll get to that. Thoughts on Halo Infinite from what's been shown so far. I don't know. Not much has been shown so far, so I don't know. I don't really see how people can get that excited about it. I don't know. There's nothing there. We got a tech demo and then a very vague trailer that alludes to a time jump, and time jumps are usually yeah. Your opinion on Spider-Man in the MCU? I actually posted about this on Twitter last night. I think he's the best part of the MCU, so I'm happy that he's back in it again. This is an unpopular opinion, right? That MCU Spider-Man movies are actually really, really good. Not just really good, but top tier Marvel. Some of the best stuff that's in the MCU in terms of character development, but that is how I feel about him anyway. So I'm quite happy because if he got taken out, it would have been difficult to continue doing things with him. Because they'd have to continue with it whilst not acknowledging the fact that it's in the MCU, despite the fact that his movies are so well integrated into the MCU. What's your favorite Halo character? Probably Arbiter. Thoughts on the new Star Wars game from what's been shown? Before we got to see anything, I was quite optimistic about that one because it's Respawn and they make good games. I'm not sure about that one though. I think it, the Force Unleashed actually looks better. And the Force Unleashed is 11 years old. And, you know, it's... I don't know about that one. We'll see. I'm very cynical about Star Wars at the moment. Um, have you seen Man of Steel? And if so, why do you not agree that it's the best DC film pre 2019? I mean, it's bad. If I'm not sure what the question is. I think it's pretty bad, to be honest. How am I supposed to buy games when I'm boycotting the industry? Yeah, that's that's a bit of a predicament, isn't it? Um, you read any of the Halo books? Yeah, Fall of Reach is pretty good. I read a novella. I think it was Shadow of Intent. That was pretty good. I read another one, Legacy of Onyx. I don't like that one so much. Maybe because it's more tethered to the new Halo games. I wasn't very impressed by it. It was a little bit too straightforward. Uh, you want to talk about unpopular opinion? I'm the only guy who thinks Windows Vista was cool. Oh, good. Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah. You're allowed to have that opinion. I'll let you have that one. How do you feel about Destiny 2 going free to play? I don't. You already know what I think about Destiny. You already know what I think about that series. I think Destiny 2 is awful. I'm not convinced when people say that it's been improved. I'm just not convinced. A wild fringy appears. No, that's not the wild theme. That was like that was the battle theme. And these are all from like from Sapphire and Ruby, which I know is not the one that people often cite as their favorite, but it's mine. Got any opinions on Pokemon Sword and Shield? Many fans are divided after the National Dex thing. Yeah, I completely understand their frustration with it. If it, like I haven't really played Pokemon actively since 2008. I have bought one since, but I don't really get into them so much. So I can understand why they're frustrated if they've been, you know, saving up these Pokemon for years. I personally am not that. I don't know. I'm not that interested in this game. I kind of think I don't often cite graphics as a reason for turning me off something, but that game looks so dated that it actually turns me off. I really don't like the way that game looks. I mean, I've seen games on the GameCube that look better. Metroid Prime looks better than that game. Which game do you think has the worst microtransactions besides Battlefront 2? That's a tough one. I mean, I don't engage with loot box systems really. I did occasionally buy some loot boxes in Overwatch, which I regret because I don't like the whole randomized thing. I mean, it is definitely a way to get you to spend more money than you want to. Because any good microtransaction system, I say good relatively, any good microtransaction system would be buy the thing that you want. You don't have to roll for it. It's not random chance. Get the thing that you want. Just one transaction and then you have it. A lot of games don't do that though because it's not as profitable. Like loot boxes are definitely the best way to do it because people will people will keep buying them in the hopes that they're going to get that random chance to get the one that they want. Would you like to see Ratchet and Clank or Jak and Daxter remastered like Spyro and Crash were imported to Steam? I would really like it if they remastered the first 3 Ratchet and Clank games and yeah, you could even throw Deadlocked in there. And then put that on Steam. That'd be awesome. As long as you don't do the whole reimagining thing like they did with the Ratchet and Clank game where they ruined the story and the characters and took out levels. But, you know, if you just did it authentically, I would buy that immediately. Jak and Daxter too, I would. What Daredevil comics would you recommend for someone trying to pick up Daredevil comics? That's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. Born Again is the most well-known Daredevil storyline and probably the best one. It's one of the best comics ever. So I would definitely recommend that. You can read The Man Without Fear. That's kind of like the origin story for that one. For that character. You could read. I mean, I was quite a fan of the Charles Soule Daredevil run that sort of wrapped up about a year ago. Yeah, about a year ago. You could read from there. That's pretty standalone, sort of self-contained. Daredevil Yellow is a pretty good one too. It's kind of like a it's sort of an origin story in the same vein as Man Without Fear. Those are some choices. And if in doubt, look it up online and just look up, the Daredevil stories that you need to read, because there are a lot of them. Have you gotten any use out of your degree yet? I'm not finished yet. You say Man of Steel is bad, and I don't think it's bad, so there's only one way to settle this. Mortal Kombat! Oh, wait, no. I was doing the Ultra Combo thing there, wasn't I? There is no guy that screams Mortal Kombat. I'm getting that wrong, aren't I? Have you played the Colonel Sanders dating simulator? I've heard about it. I've heard about it. Gen 3 is considered one of the best generations along with Gen 5. Is it? Okay, that makes me happy. I just always been told that 1 and 2 were the most popular. Doritos or Pringles? Probably Doritos. Fringy, I highly recommend you read the King Killer Chronicles, Stormlight Archive, Leviathan Wakes, and some books by Haruki Murakami. I'm butchering that. Haruki Murakami. I mean, I have one of the books for the audio book anyway for Stormlight Archives, and I have an ebook for Leviathan Wakes, which I need to get through. And I think I actually bought the audio book for that one too. Which For Honor character pisses you off the most? I haven't played For Honor. I don't know. Have you played Celeste? I have. It's great. I really like that game. I think that game's really good. It has a certain uplifting attitude, I guess, which you wouldn't expect for a game that's like, punishing. Currently, Fire Emblem Three Houses is my game of the year. I have played that. I do like it. I do like it. I haven't beaten it yet, though. I get the impression that game is pretty long. In fact, when it comes to Switch games, I'm kind of... So I bought Super Mario Maker 2, Fire Emblem Three Houses, Astral Chain, and Link's Awakening, and I haven't really dived fully into them. The most I mean, Astral Chain I only played for like 30 minutes. I need to get back into it. Pokemon or Persona? Well, I haven't played Persona, so can't say. I need to figure out what to do with this overlay here. Or, in fact, now might be a good time to start discussing some of the stuff that I've been working on whilst I've been absent. Open up. That's the file, I think. You like anime? I mean, only in the sense that I like good stories, I suppose. I'm not sure. I like One Punch Man. I like Death Note, and that's pretty much it so far, unless I get introduced to something else. I like the All You Need Is Kill manga. That one's pretty good. I'm not really into anime. I think anime gets away with things as a storytelling format that other people can't get away with. Like, a lot of people will praise some animes for being really complex, but it's like, you only know that because the creator basically told you that through exposition, just like point blank exposition of characters saying what they think or feel. And you can't do that, like you can't do that if you're writing a film. Everybody would notice and feel condescended to, but for some reason anime gets away with it. There are some good anime though, so don't take that as like a slight against it. Celeste is the only game I've heard of that's critical of social media addiction, but is progressive and wasn't made by a bunch of boomers. What is the worst video game you've ever played, bar none? Uh, hmm. The thing is, I haven't played those, you know, obviously the worst games ever things, you know, like those little things on Steam. I haven't played those, so they don't factor in. I remember there was a game called Haze on the PS3 that was really bad. Like, I was really unimpressed when I played it. And I wasn't even that old when it came out, and I played it, and I was just like, I was so unimpressed by it. I thought the story was stupid. I thought the characters were stupid. I thought it was all bad, all horrible. That might be a pick. I mean, I think the Order 1886 is terrible as well, so that might be another one there. But I couldn't say when it comes to bad. Bad's difficult. Did you hear about the Xbox fanboy who got sued? No, I didn't. I mean, God, wow. All right. Oh yeah. So let me walk you through a couple of the things I've been working on. Now you may have seen this if you follow me on Twitter. You'll notice that there are a bunch of links in the description. Feel free to go to those places and click follow or subscribe or any of that if you're interested in any of the stuff that I'm about to go through in terms of what I'm working on and what I'm planning on working on going forward. Keeping in mind that this channel will still exist and still be here, and I will still probably use it because I would like to talk about the gaming industry, because unfortunately I'm kind of just disappointed with the number of bad takes that are abundant. The number of just like just really bad like takes just abound, and also I guess what's become apparent is things that I talked about like 5 years ago. If I had talked about them now when it was too late to fix those problems, I might have gotten like 1 million subscribers off of talking about microtransactions and stuff. It's just fascinating. It's like, it's too late, guys. Like, they're here to stay now. If people had been more vocal about them in like 2013 and 14 when they were just getting introduced, you know, when Total Biscuit, the legend that he was, you know, actually discussing it at that time too. But now I feel like it's too late, and it's just people talking about it and complaining about it, and then, you know, talking about it on YouTube, but it's nothing's coming of it. That non sequitur aside, but yes, I would like to start talking about the whole video gaming thing again. It's fun doing that. It was fun doing the E3 live streams, which were 4 months ago at this point. 4? 5? June to July to August, no, 4 months. AAA is dead now. Yeah, I mean, you're probably gonna be best served like paying attention to indie and AA and stuff. So this is something that you may have seen. If you follow me on Twitter, I've been working on a cartoon. I've been working on a little animation here. It's not done yet. So, and it's actually progressed. It's progressed further than this at this point. Not a whole lot though, which is a little bit, you know, I probably could pick up the pace on this, but I've been working on this little here cartoon, and I'm going to be working on cartoons again because, as you all know, I'm interested in making cartoons, and I'm interested in making like comics, and I'm interested in like original content, right? So this is the first one anyway. This is the first one that I started, and it's getting there. I actually wanted to finish it today, but that was not gonna happen. That was not gonna happen. I had a few other things to work on that I probably should have taken into account when I was trying to figure out, you know, my timetable for this. But I'm not sure how much. I don't know if the storyboard frame is there. Let me take a look. Since you're here, you guys can get a more thorough look. This first shot is completely done. It's colored. It's all done. And at which point this character here on the side, who you would have seen if you might have seen an illustration of this character on Twitter a while ago, because that's how long it took me to like actually sit down and get started on this. So then he's gonna grab him and toss him out the. Yeah, no, you can't see the the storyboard. Oh yeah, you can. He then gets tossed out the window. Oh, by the way, if you're here, you're gonna see this whole thing. So if you don't want to see this whole thing, then leave now. But I mean, you don't have to worry, man. It's not done yet, so it's not like I'm really spoiling anything. And I can actually hear the audio for this in here, so that's a little bit annoying. So the Fringy's playing a video game. The other character, whose name you'll find out in the cartoon, comes in and then gets tossed out the window because I'm busy. I want to beat the game. And then progress. So playing it and then discussing like basically playing a video game, and it's up to like a final boss of some sort. So quite into it, no distractions. It would be really unfortunate if something just went wrong with the computer while I was playing at this part to destroy it. And then, something happens, boss actually gets beaten, and the setup is that this has got a blue screen, like the computer's got a blue screen and there's going to be a complete overreaction. But no, it goes well, and then I win. I bounce up triumphantly and start taunting the game, and then I get hit by a truck. And then I end up in hospital laughing maniacally because, I still beat the game, I beat the game, and that's all that matters. And that's the cartoon, for which I've not really got much done, unfortunately. I've only really completed 1.5 shots, and of those 1.5 shots, one of them I'm not satisfied with. So I will have to go back through it. Man, I need to find a more effective way of scrolling through this. It's taking too long. But yeah, that which shot is it? It's it's this one here. Yeah, this one's not working very well. I probably need to redo it. Like find a way to I don't know. It looks a bit awkward played in full. I might change up the shots themselves. But yeah, that's a cartoon, and that's the first of a lot of ideas for cartoons. And those of you who've been around for a while might remember that I did try making cartoons before. But at the time that I did that, I didn't really know anything about it, nor could I even draw to a moderately competent level. I'm not even sure if I'm there yet. Like, I hope it's normal for everybody to feel like they're not that good at it, but, it's like practice, which is kind of hard to get in sometimes, but, I'll probably do some of that after the stream ends. And it's not going to be a long stream either. It's probably only going to be an hour and a half, 2 hours. So that's the first one. There's a whole assortment of those, and they will be going up on a channel called Dubious Sanity, which is the first link in the description of the stream. That's where the cartoons, that's where the big creative projects, that's where all that's gonna go, and that's where it's gonna be. So I probably will upload this one on this YouTube channel as well, just at the start, because not everybody's going to know about the other one. Not everybody's going to filter over there, and that's a good way to do it. But the idea is, those sort of big creative projects, they're going to go over there on Dubious Sanity. I should probably actually pull that up. Hold on. Well, actually, there's nothing to pull up. It's just a channel that doesn't have anything on it yet. But that's where those are going to go. And so, once that happens, that's where that'll go from then on, and then this channel will sort of remain in the place that it is, like the place that it is, or always was, which was talking about video games and discussing things. The extent to which I do that, I'm not so sure, because I kind of want to prioritize, these sort of projects, these bigger ones, these more creative, original ones. That's where the interest is at the moment. And this has been fun, despite the amount of work that it goes into it, because I basically been trying to approach this as a frame by frame thing, which you can probably see here. Like frame by frame, but it's one drawing every 2 frames, because that just makes it easier to get it done. I thought No, the audio is fine. Yeah, frame by frame, so it takes a while. It's probably in an ideal world, once the rolls start rolling, fuck, once the wheels start rolling, um, this I would like to be able to make a cartoon every 2 to 3 months. No like because a lot of the initial ideas that I have in my head are kind of like 20 to 30 seconds, a little bit more manageable, a little bit more tapered down in scope because I can't really I can't really like I can't really feel comfortable starting on big sort of animation projects. We'll work our way up to those once I learn a bit more about how to do it. I'm fortunate in the sense that I watch a lot of animation content on YouTube, what little there is, and sort of try to pay attention to the animation and like how it moves and if there's any behind the scenes stuff, how they go about it, because it's a bit helpful in figuring out the way that things should move and the way that you should animate things. Um, but that's that's a cartoon thing anyway, and then and they will. I've messed up my stream overlays. uh, just bear with me here. I know I'm a very professional streamer right here, aren't I? I know exactly what I'm doing. Oh, sorry, I haven't like responded to any of the chat yet. Most people wait for H3, uh, but I'm waiting for Fringy's return. Mad respect for animation. You should not for me, but for animation. Animation is underappreciated. Oh. Actually, yeah, I'll just post a link into the chat. This is the YouTube channel that you want to head to. In future, there's actually nothing there yet, so don't worry about it. There's nothing on there yet. Free in the journey to a professional stream. Yeah, that sounds about right, doesn't it? The next thing's next. So when it comes to streams, I guess my view was like when it came to doing live streams, I wasn't sure if it would be a good idea to sort of bog down. I'm kind of the view that it's like there's good reason to sort of compartmentalize, I guess, different components of content creation. So like, even though people are on YouTube and people use YouTube and I use YouTube, when it comes to live streams in the future, which I'm going to be doing, and those live streams that I'm going to be doing in the future will be, there'll be two things. It'll be either playing video games naturally, or it'll be like doing work on animation or illustration or something, some sort of creative work that you can be along for the ride with. And for those, I'm going to be doing them on Dubious Sanity on Twitch, which I have here. But I think it'd probably be a good idea, either for a while or indefinitely, to actually use like Restream to do streams on both platforms. Because about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I did a poll where I wanted to find out how many people prefer, YouTube, Twitch, or whatever streaming service. Most people prefer YouTube, which is odd when most streamers seem to prefer Twitch. And also it seems like wise to split things up, because if something bad happens to one or the other, then you're okay. But if something bad happens to YouTube and then you only have a YouTube channel, then that's it, you're done. That's it. So those streams will be happening on there, at least in part. Either that or like Restream, where I can do two and two at once, but I've never used it before, so there might be some growing pains there. But I'd like to do a stream at least once a week. That would be good. That would be a good pace to do. So if that sounds interesting, watching me just do work or play video games, head over there. I mean, I've generally enjoyed doing streams in the past. I found them entertaining. Fun to do sort of thing. I thought I had more to say on that. Nope, that's it. What's next? What can I pivot to next? Are you gonna do more video game reviews? Those were really entertaining. Those took a long time to make. Those took a really long time to make. I probably would be happy to talk about video games again, but when it comes to like reviews, that'll be I don't know. Those reviews took a long time. Sorry, I'm just mulling that over. What I was thinking, right, for this channel, because I don't really want to not do anything with this channel. It's here. It's kind of legacy content at this point. I was more thinking along the lines of like you know how like Rags has a channel called Dog Bites where he's sort of like it's a little bit more informal, a little bit more relaxed and not as highly edited or scripted, and it's just him talking about specific things. That to me seems more in line with what I'd be able to do without it sort of taken away from the other stuff I'm working on. You gotta understand, right? Like my main interest is working on creative projects. I think the fact that I'm given another stab at doing it again after I did the whole Crude Penguin thing and did like bad comics on there, that it's quite an interest of mine. I'm quite keen on making creative stuff. I mean, when it comes to like the stuff that I've been trying to work on, there's been a decent tisk. What about not being on EFAP? I was on it last week. I went for like 9 hours. Sorry, I got derailed. I derailed myself there. So, those of you who follow me on Twitter, and I'm not sure if I actually linked my Twitter in the description. Find me on Twitter. Go on Twitter. I know Twitter sucks. I hate Twitter. I don't like using it. But that's generally where you get more up to date on like things and maybe get some perspectives that you might have asked in chat, just because you weren't aware that I mentioned it or discussed it on Twitter before. But if you've been on there, like if you've been following me on there, then you might recall that I mentioned I was working on a book. That's been going that's been going great. That's been going wonderful. I've been making such good progress on that book. So I have been trying to write a book. I'm quite adamant about doing that. I'm very adamant about writing a book. Not just writing a book, but writing several books. And that's been challenging. That's been a really tough endeavor. Not gonna lie. I am very, very much, concerned with making something that is good and like really, really good. That's like I think the fact that I'm so concerned with making something that is like awesome has just made the progress like slower, just because naturally it is going to be slower if that's like the goal. If you're trying to make something that's awesome and like without flaws, it's just when it comes since I'm often on EFAP and like often discussing media and stuff and good or bad content, good or bad storytelling and things like that. it gets you thinking about those things. It gets you really like cognizant of plot holes, character progression, world building, and making sure that everything makes sense. And I'm mostly interested in speculative fiction. So like science fiction, fantasy, science fiction in particular, but also fantasy a lot as well. And a lot of that means like world building, building things up, developing things up, making sure it's all consistent, and that's tough. That's really tough. Telling a story that's narratively satisfying but also structurally sound is very difficult. And I think, and I know this, I'm aware that this is a problem, right? My problem is I can't settle on the first draft being bad, even though the first draft is supposed to be bad. It's supposed to be done and finished and rough and riddled with problems, so that then you go through it in a second draft and make it better, go through it in a third draft and make it better, and redraft it as many times as you need. But getting from that start to finish point is the real challenge. I would like to actually finish the one that I'm working on by the end of the year, but yeah, I'm not optimistic. We'll see. I'm just reading some of the chat here. This is funny. Frigging the Stanley Kubrick of YouTube. I wish. You're more rational than a lot of gaming YouTubers I'm seeing, and if I'm really honest, I prefer your content over some others. Well, I mean, that's flattering, thank you. I mean, I think I'm just generally like disappointed with a lot of the gaming discussion that I see. I just often see. I think Last of Us Part 2 is probably a good example of that, right? Like, there are some YouTubers I follow for some reason who just make really bad who've just made some really bad arguments about it. Like, they're just making these really bizarre arguments that have to do with like first party and third party, like game modes. I find it so confusing. I'm just like, I don't get it. Because the thing with The Last of Us 2 right now is the whole multiplayer thing. There's no multiplayer. And for me, it's like, yeah. I like the multiplayer in The Last of Us. I thought it was pretty good. But, if they are... I'm just assuming that they didn't have enough time to make it. Which is fine, because this game's already taken too long to come out anyway. It got announced in 2016, and it's 2020 when it's coming out. So it's over 3 years since it was announced. The Division came out quicker than that, and I remember The Division taking a really long time to come out. So if they had to cut it to actually get done, then that's fine. I'm not fussed about that. Where was I again? Oh, right, the books. I figure it might be fun to actually discuss in vague terms what they were about. So the one that I was working on for the longest time was it's like a steampunk fantasy thing, that had to do with a thief and his escapades and him becoming embroiled in something a lot bigger than himself. That kind of puts him against the wall. That was the one that I was working on. I got really invested in that one, and I still am. I'm kind of quite keen on that one. And then I kind of pivoted away from that and started looking at a couple other things, including a Norse mythology sort of inspired one. And then a cyberpunk one. But the cyberpunk one, I thought I was as interested in that one, but I'm really not so sure about that one anymore. I'm not sure how interested I am in it. I think a lot of the stuff with the world is fine, but I'm just not that interested in the characters. And so then I kind of went back to the fantasy, the steampunk one. And that's where I've settled again. And my goal at the moment is to make a couple, write 1 or 2 or 3 books that are standalone and good, hopefully good. And then after that, move on to the bigger, like the much bigger stuff, the bigger multi-book sort of stories, and try and fish around for a publisher for those. but I kind of don't want to like talk about that at all, like at any point until I'm actually done with this. So hopefully you won't hear anything about it until they're actually done, or at least I've finished the first draft, because that would be further than I've ever gotten. Um, so there's that. Let me answer a few more questions. Uh, First party exclusives I'm okay with, but using them as a shield to excuse bad console business practices is stupid. Yeah. Have you ever come across someone who's ever given a good, solid, asterisk-free reason to dislike Sonic games? If not, is that even possible? What do you mean? Do you mean Sonic in general or specific Sonic games? Because I think there are plenty of good arguments against many Sonic games for why they're not good. I don't like the majority of the 3D ones. Do you think it'd be good if the government got involved with loot boxes? No. I don't want boomers regulating loot boxes. They don't even understand them. Like, this is what I mean. I don't know if I'm happy about government getting involved with it when they don't even understand the industry. I'd be much happier with pressure from the public on the publishers that would actually force them to change their practices. I guess the thing is, I don't know if I trust the government to be responsible regulating it. Any thoughts on Ruby? I think it's very overrated. That's what I think of Ruby from what I've seen of that show. I guess the fights are pretty good. Monty made a lot of good fights. And from what I've heard, like the earlier stuff is better than the later stuff, so maybe the earlier stuff is better. Read any good self-published books? Oh man, not really. They do exist. I haven't read Shad's book yet. I know that's self-published, so that might be one of them. Will you ever return the old closing music from the older videos? I'm pretty sure it's a breach of copyright, so no. First season is the best material. Okay, yeah, fair enough. I mean, again, I'm not that big of a fan of anime, so when are we getting Galactic Gunners episode 4, man? Wow, that's an old callback, isn't it? You never gotta get it because I hate that series. um, I won't deny that was like important, a sort of important growth thing, an important learning experience trying to make that. But yeah, I don't like it. It's just like it's meant to be set in the future, but the characters are like referencing they're referencing TV shows and movies from our time period. It'd be like if I just was casually referencing Mozart just in general while I was walking around. Like a play that I wouldn't even be aware of. Stupid. And when the plot was going for that one, if I remember correctly, the idea was like they get the alien and then they... Damn, I can't even remember. And I remember I spent a whole like week and a half planning that one out. It's not enough. Something has to be done about loot boxes. I understand we cannot trust the government, but there's too much evidence that loot boxes are psychologically too strong. Yeah, I mean, the thing is with loot boxes is they're gambling, I think, which is probably the reason why governments should be involved to a certain extent, but I don't think I want them banned. I hate them, but I would prefer to have public pressure placed on companies to not do it rather than ban them outright. You know? Though maybe you should have something that restricts people under 18 from getting involved with them, because we often hear stories of kids who get a hold of their parents' credit card and then they like find out they got $1,000 bill because their kid just bought all this like microtransactions. And the reality is when it comes to loot boxes and stuff, the companies know that, you know, like 90% of people aren't going to engage. They're counting on the 5% of people who are going to get addicted. You know, that is the business model. You know, they don't care that they know that about 5 or 6% of players are going to get addicted and spend more than they want. You know, they're counting on that. It reminds me of that episode from what was it, from South Park, where they were talking about, where they were talking about microtransactions, and the Canadian devil was like, you think the alcohol company cares? They don't care that 5% of their drinkers are gonna get addicted. They're counting on it, and it's the same with us. We got our eyes on every screen, every button they click. There's that sort of thing. It's quite insidious, I guess. This is related to the Sonic question. The franchise in general, mostly in the gameplay department. I tried to explain my stance and I got ostracized. And not by trolls, in case you're wondering. I guess when it comes to a franchise-wide thing, I am of the view that there are more bad Sonic games than good ones. If we're talking about the good Sonic games, we're talking about like 1, 2, 3 and Knuckles, Colors and Generations, and that's probably it for me, anyway. I don't think Sonic Adventure's good. I don't think Sonic Adventure 2 is good. I don't think that... Sonic the Hedgehog is definitely bad. I think they're mostly bad, which is why I find it so fascinating that it has such a big a big thing backing it. The thing with Sonic is, ever since it tried to transition into 3D, it just has not gone well. They just keep changing their mind. They can't figure out what they want to do. And it might just be that running really, really fast doesn't translate well to 3D because you can't really build your challenges in the same way that you could in a 2D perspective. Whereas when Mario made the jump to 3D, it was a more obvious one because he's not running very fast. He's going pretty slow and just doing his jumps and platforming and stuff. And from a story perspective, Sonic's never been good. Sonic didn't need to be good though when it was like on the Genesis. Like, you could have it simple stories. And that was fine. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Sorry. I hope that answers your question. They're gambling. It has to be regulated. Yeah, it's the gambling aspect, right? That's, gaming has too many normies for public pressure to be effective. I don't know. Battlefront 2 works pretty well. They made changes based on it. What are your most anticipated games of next year? Probably Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk, Last of Us 2. There are a lot of games coming out next year. That's a tough one. Those are the two main ones at the moment. Maybe I'll think of another one while I'm going through it. I'm kind of interested in the Final Fantasy VII remake, even though I never played Final Fantasy before, like ever. I haven't played a single one. COD is a normie franchise. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. I'm curious about your thoughts on Star Citizen. What's your opinion of the purchase of all ships via the RSI store? Do you think the ambition of the game justifies the ship market in the game? The thing with Star Citizen is I'm only aware of stuff about it vaguely. I'm not that in tune with what's happening with Star Citizen. I think that game has really fallen victim to feature creep. They got so much money that they just started expanding their scope. Why do I have Be Right Back on? I'm not back. I'm here. I'll just put that up. I think that game has expanded its scope to an extent that has basically made it to where I'm not sure if it's ever going to come out. Like, I'm not sure if it's ever going to come out. That's the thing. Do you believe that a zoomed out camera for the 2D Sonic games is a bad idea? I'm not sure, really. Banning loot boxes, not really interested, but frankly, can we not put them in games that already cost money? Well, this is what I mean. I agree with you. I don't like loot boxes. I don't think they should be in games I've paid for. I don't like them at all, really. Even the cosmetic ones I'm not a fan of. But what I want is all it should be, right? Aside from the whole the gambling aspect and, people under 18 not using it. That's as far as I think I should be able to go, is say what I think and vote with my wallet. What was the worst year for gaming? 2014 will haunt my dreams. Yeah, 2014 was horrible, wasn't it? Like, 2014 was the worst year for gaming. Um, I mean, yeah, probably the worst one of this decade, I'd say. Because if we go through the list, 2010 was pretty good. 2011 was filled with a lot of games. A lot of them were disappointing, but there were definitely some good ones in there, like Arkham City and Battlefield 3. I mean, it was a huge year, 2011. 2012 had stuff like Max Payne 3. It was a little bit of a mixed bag. 2013 is perhaps one of the most overrated years for gaming because Bioshock Infinite came out that year and everybody said it was awesome and it's not. 2014 was bad though, wasn't it? 2014 was nothing came out of note really. There are a lot of disappointing games. It was a really bad year for the industry. Any thoughts on the state of Western animation? I mean, there are plenty of good animated shows around. I just wish that they got a bigger budget so that they could really do more with the animation. I mean, there aren't many frame-by-frame animated shows that you see around. I mean, I like a lot. I like a lot of the shows that are on. You know, obviously, I like Rick and Morty. Final Space is all right. But when it comes to the animation, I guess those aren't good because those have good animation. Like Rick and Morty has some really good animation. When it comes to film, it's a lot more disappointing, right? Because we just don't get 2D animated films. Wolf actually showed me the anime Your Name, and you just look at the animation of that movie, and it's amazing. And we just don't get that with 2D here, because they just don't do 2D for film. It's all 3D now. All live action remakes, which I hate. I mean, they've made like 3 this year. I can't stand it. Wouldn't 1982 be the worst year since the gaming industry crashed? Well, I mean, we're talking about like the recently. I think we're talking about when it comes to worst years. 2014 was not the worst year for video games. There have been worse years, but in recent memory, 2014 was the worst. I mean, if we're being real, pretty much every year before 1985 was worse than like 2014 when it came to video games. They didn't really make good video games until like Super Mario Brothers came out. If we're excluding the arcade games. Well, yeah, 2014 was, for reference, it was the year of Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed Unity, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, uh, this is what I mean. I can't even, like, remember. I can't even remember what games came out. CGI Lion King! Exclamation mark several times over. Yeah, I mean, aren't you excited? I mean, Lion King remade without the animation or the original voice actors. Have you seen or read 12 Angry Men? I have seen it. It's one of my favorite movies. 12 Angry Men is a great example of what you can achieve with great character writing. 12 guys in a room, don't even know their names. Fringy, and you're wrong about the 2D thing. You're just not familiar with the best animation made in the West. What do you mean? You gotta elaborate. I don't know what you mean. What I said was that there aren't really a lot of 2D animated films, which is correct. I mean, I can't think of any that have come out. Disney don't make them anymore. DreamWorks hasn't made them since like 2003. They're not abundant. When it comes to TV, they're around. They're definitely around. There's a lot of good animation on TV. In terms of the amount of work that they have to get done and the amount of time that they have to do it. Seems like it's perpetual crunch for animation for TV. Which I guess makes sense, because you look at something like Rick and Morty and all I can think is, yeah, this would have taken a long time to make. Because these backgrounds are really detailed and the characters are really detailed and the animation's really good. But, you know, it pays off when you watch the show, doesn't it? Because it's just great, the animation. Helps that the writing's really good too. Though my view on season 3 of Rick and Morty is a bit of a mixed bag. It's a bit of a mixed bag. I think it's like half not good and half excellent. All my games predate 2015. Almost no interest in modern AAA titles. Yeah, I mean that's not. It's not. It's completely understandable, isn't it? There's not a whole lot going on. The only 2D theatrical movies I can think of are Teen Titans Go and the movie and the MLP Go to the movies. Oh yeah, right. Sorry, I misread that. I haven't heard of the MLP movie. Maybe I have if I hear the acronym. I mean, Teen Titans Go. Oof. I'm sure that there was something else on my list of things I needed to get through. Oh yes, the illustration, comics, and all that. Um, I say that and then I immediately just like blank. Let me think. No, yes, that is a thing. So oh, My Little Pony. Right. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know anything about that series. Um. So yeah. What? God damn it. um, the comics thing. So, um, I tried my hand at doing the comics, and yeah, no, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is Western animation, and it's fantastic, but it's still 3D. I was talking about 2D. I wasn't talking about 3D. Um, oh right, you're referencing like the animated films that DC does that are like on TV and DVD. I meant like in theaters. Um, I probably should have been more specific. Uh, yeah. So on the comics thing, I some of you might remember that I did the Animal Town comic, and I don't like it. I don't look back. The art is bad. The punchlines aren't very good. It's not good. But that's something I still want to do, Animal Town, but more of like a graphic novel because I have more ideas for longer stories. But I think I will leave that until a much later date. Um, and in the time since I have like pondered ideas for new comic strips, but I'm not sure if it's a format I'm really made out for. I think I'm just not that good at writing, jokes that are delivered in that manner. Um, I'm kind of more a fan of like building up jokes and doing bigger jokes and stuff. So yeah, I'm not sure that I would ever go back to doing like a weekly comic strip thing. However, I am quite keen on um, doing the graphic novel thing. I might as well use the illustration thing and put it to good use. I've been doing commissions. If you go to my Twitter, you can see that I've got a commissions thing up. And you send me an email regarding commissions, that's something I've been throwing my hand at. God damn it, these sentences are coming out muddled. It's early. Uh, but yeah, that was something I've been doing. But I'm quite keen on doing something with illustration to do like graphic novels and do comics and stuff. The format through which I want to deliver them, it's kind of hard to figure out. Um, like whether it would be a weekly thing or anything like that. But I'm quite keen on making comics. But I don't really have anything to announce on that front yet because I actually need to write them. But I have several ideas, and I need to be more methodical in approaching them. Do the concept art, and then figure out the plot and the characters, and then get started, and maybe post a page once a week while working towards getting it all done. I think that would be the way to go, potentially. So that's what I'll try to do. I'm not sure if I have any. Let me see if I got anything I can show for some of those ideas, just to in my sketches, so I can change it from just showing you the same animation page. Thoughts on the Switch? Switch is awesome. It's probably my favorite console that's available right now. I love it. Apparently, DC can only make good content when it's animated. You think Gears 5 is short on content? Don't know if you played, but the guest characters make up 35% of the roster. I'm not sure what you're talking about. You must be talking about like something else. You gonna make a Gears 5 review? I haven't played Gears 5, so no. I can sketch, but I can't do digital art. Do you have any recommendations for free digital art programs? I don't want to pay for paint. Sigh. I mean, I think Sketchbook Pro is pretty good, and I'm pretty sure it's free now. Anyway, have you read the Witcher books? I've read the first one, part way, so there's that. So I'm just going through. I'm just trying to see if I got any sketches here that might be relevant to those projects. I'm not sure. Some of them might be on my iPad. Uh, hmm. Oh, that might be an interesting one. That might be an interesting one actually. Uh wow, this is from 2018. God. Uh this was one that I did, right? So I keep telling people like, oh, I really want to do this Space Bounty Hunter, graphic novel. Um and I remember drawing this character, it's Vince the Platypus. Initially he was gonna be the main character, but I think I might have changed my mind on that in the interim. Moving on to something else, but there was that one. I drew this one in 2018. Oh god, it's taken too long. It's taken too long to make this progress. Uh, Let me see if I can find another one. Oh, that one might be an interesting one. There was this one here. For like, it was gonna be a comic that I worked on, but nothing came of that one either. Um, what else do I have? Now as I go through this list, I'm like, man, I didn't put much of this to paper. I probably should have put some of this to paper. Here's probably a better example of some stuff I would like to do on the actual, like I'd like to actually do some like actual just illustration stuff on stream anyway. Like when I was working on this one, which was a more recent one. This is still not great. I looking at, I'm still not super thrilled with it, but as I was working on this one, this might be something that would be good to do, like working through drawing an illustration while on stream and working on it and going through it. That might be fun. Um, oh, somebody asked a question. It's a question I answered before. Destiny 2 going free to play. I already mentioned I don't like Destiny, so I don't care. You like Fire Emblem at all? Yeah, I like Three Houses. I like it. A lot of talking in that game. I was surprised by how much talking there is. Um, Other than Zelda, what games do you recommend for Switch? Mario Odyssey, Smash Brothers. I mean, I'll just look at my games. Splatoon 2, Mario Kart, Super Mario Odyssey. I have Travis Strikes Again, but I haven't played much of it. Yeah, Ultimate Astral Chain, but I haven't played much of that. I actually don't have I don't have Breath of the Wild for Switch. I have Breath of the Wild for Wii U. Let me see. Was there anything else? I was sure that I'd saved some of this stuff on this computer, but maybe I haven't. Oh, I remember this one. This was this was one I drew for good old Animal Town with a really bad perspective on his foot there. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't look right. um, because I was quite invested in continuing with Animal Town, and I still am. But I'd like to do it, I guess. Yeah, no, I would like to just do it again. But the bigger story, like, and I have a sort of plan in my head for a 3 or 4 like chapter long, and by chapter I mean like one chapter is a graphic novel length, so like story that I think would be good. And then there were nah, that's a different one. Uh, have you played Metroid Samus Returns? Yep, it's really good. Really like it. But I suppose, right, like as I'm going through like all of these shit drawings I did before, you get, like this is what I mean. It's like the value of practice right here, right? So you got this fucking really bad, out of perspective, awkward looking drawing, um, and then there was this one. I mean, Jesus Christ, like really bad, just really bad. Um, and then I think I would have moved over to this one here, which is still pretty bad. There's something wrong with it. Like, it doesn't look right. Um, and it'd probably be better if I gave it another try at this point. Like, because even this one, which is older and I'm not that pleased with it, is still better. So it's like, you know, progress, and all that sort of thing. Sorry, I thought I had more. I thought I had more to talk about on that front. I thought I had more there to discuss. You a Castlevania fan at all? No, not really. I think I would like to though, because I like Metroid, so I probably would like Castlevania. But I haven't played them. Yeah, I thought I had more for that, but I don't really. So, all right. Um, is Crap Gamer still the best reviewer on this site? I mean, I'm, I don't really. This is what I mean. I don't keep up to date on those, you know, channels because I'm just not. Yeah, I don't really care about those channels. Um, they just say wrong things regularly, you know. Uh, Even in your old ones, I see your style shining through. It looks good. Oh, well, thanks. I don't think they look good. And I'm not sure that I have a style, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is a style. I just can't see it. Thoughts on Black One? I'm not sure what. I don't know what thoughts. I don't know what the thoughts would be. Are you a DMC fan? If you're talking about Devil May Cry, I do like Devil May Cry. Yeah. 5 is probably one of my favorite games of the year. It's great. Uh, I'm thinking I might need to recap, but I think that's all of it for now anyway. Um, yeah, I think that was it. I think that was all I had. I would like to actually make a video on this channel when I'm done, like when the actual when the animation's done, when a couple other things are done and posted, so that I can actually sort of discuss the plans with more people, because we only got like 40 or 50 people who are here to watch this one. So and that'll probably get the word out better. But that's the plan anyway, and then I'll start doing the stream soonish. Not this week. I'm gonna be away this week, but eventually, in between other things. So that's probably it for like the actual discussion about the game plan. It was muddled and shit, and probably like not very helpful at all. But basically, the gist of it is follow those links and follow me on Twitter if you're interested. Go to the Dubious Sanity YouTube channel, Twitch, to be up to date on like the animation and the paying attention to it. And if you're interested in streams, they'll try and do the concurrent thing when it comes to streams. Yeah, that'd be where to go. But before we wrap it up, if you got any other questions, feel free to filter them through. You hyped for The Last of Us 2? Yep. I'm excited. Favorite Disney Star Wars film? I guess Rogue One, but I don't really like any of them, to be honest with you. I don't think any of them are very good. Who would you say is the worst author you know of? I don't know. And if I want to be an author, it's probably unprofessional to say, isn't it? I mean, the thing is like the worst authors would be people I just outright avoid reading altogether. And they're probably, and the thing is, you could say something like Stephanie Meyer or something, but there are probably worse authors than her. Like, I mean, there absolutely have to be. Excited for the Joker movie. Yep, I am really excited. Who is a guest you want to have in Cosmoronic? Well, the next one's going to be Top Hats. Then it'll probably be Jay Simpsons. Then we'll see after that. It'd be good to get Bullet Barry on if he's available, but I'm not sure. I thought he had gone away to like Vietnam, so I'm not I'm not sure. Have you heard of Vector Man for Sega Genesis? That game was a huge part of my childhood, but I've never heard anyone talk about it. I'm not familiar with it. What other JRPG series do you like? I don't really like many JRPGs. I'm more of a fan of Western RPGs. Like I said, I haven't played Final Fantasy. I haven't played like, Mana or whatever it was. What's it called? Something of Mana? Shit, I know it. I know what it is. Or Breath of Fire. I haven't played any of those. Who would you like to see most in Smash? I don't know, man. They've already got basically anybody I would have ever wanted, so I don't know. What's your opinion on the Mass Effect series? It was really good once. It was really good once. Thoughts on RXL 209? Is that a graphics card? Because otherwise I don't know what that is. Secret of Mana. That's it. Yeah. I haven't played it. I don't know. I think one of those games is on the SNES Switch like library, so that might be my opportunity. Yeah, everybody's helping me out here. Secret of Mana, Trolls of Mana. That's those ones. I haven't played any of them. Oh, I'll be back in like 1 minute, but I'll let you filter your questions through, and then I'll get around to answering them. Oh, all right. I see a few questions in. I guess RXL209 is a YouTuber who's irrelevant, which would explain maybe why I don't know who they are. Any thoughts on Metroid Prime 4 and where it should go? I can't really have any thoughts. We don't know anything about it yet. Do you think Dragon Age 2 is still bad in retrospect? I haven't played Dragon Age 2, so I don't know. Have you played Warframe? If so, do you like it? I played a little bit of it. Yeah, it's okay. Thoughts on Batman Arkham or Hollow Knight? Well, oddly specific, but I like the Arkham games, except for the last one because I didn't play it because it didn't fucking work. um, and Hollow Knight I haven't played enough of, but it looks good. Uh, are you looking forward to Streets of Rage 4? Yeah, that game looks cool actually. That game looks really cool. Steam or GOG? Well, Steam has more games, so Steam, but GOG is pretty pro-consumer, so that's a good choice. You a fan of Shantae? No, I keep hearing about it, but I don't really know anything about it. So no, pretty much no. If you don't have anything else, I'm probably gonna call it there. I know it's really short. It was only like an hour and 22 minutes. I probably have. These will probably go for longer when I'm actually like working on something, or I've got a better plan for it, or if I wasn't like busy trying to prepare things today, which I will be. Um, Favorite Marvel vs. Capcom game? Have not played any of them. Yeah, these are some boring answers, aren't they? I don't know. I haven't played it. I have no idea. um, but yeah, no, that I think I'll actually call it there. But thanks for coming. I know. Sorry, I haven't uploaded anything. I'll try and make a change to that. I hope you're interested in these projects. I hope that you're as interested in them as I am because I'm quite keen. Um, and hopefully it'll pan out and there'll be some good things coming from it. But the main takeaway will be uh, if you're interested in keeping up to date on this and these things, then take a look at the links in the description. Subscribe or follow them if you're interested, and if not, then it's fine. Don't worry about it. Um, But those will be the places to look for when it comes to, you know, this stuff. As for like any dates or times, I can't give you a date or time. Like this animation's not even halfway finished, so probably still gonna be a little while. And that's for any of the other things I talked about, like book. Yeah, at least a year before you see anything from that. Probably graphic novel, probably even longer than that. But yeah, that's basically all I've got. Sorry for boring you to death. But yeah, thanks for coming. Actually, thanks for coming and taking a look. Next stream will probably be at some point whenever, not this week. Yep, that's it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming. And I hope you all have a good day. See you later.